You probably drank bottled water at some point today, or you walked past a shelf full of it at a store without even noticing. It's one of the most boring things you can buy. But when you think about it for a second, it's actually kind of strange. Water comes out of your tap almost for free. It costs you a tiny fraction of a cent. But every day, millions of people pay $1 or $2 for a bottle of the exact same thing. Not because they have to, just because that's normal now. So today, let's talk about how that works. How does a company take something that's basically free and turn it into a business worth billions of dollars? Where does the real money come from? And why do so many people who try to start a water brand end up failing? Let's get into it. Here's the first thing to understand. If water is almost free, how does anyone make money selling it? The truth is, a bottled water company isn't really selling water. It's selling a bottle, a label, and a brand. The water inside usually costs the company almost nothing, maybe a cent or two per bottle. What actually costs money is everything around it: the plastic bottle, the cap, the label, the truck that delivers it, and the shelf space it sits on in the store. Here's the part that surprises most people. In many cases, the plastic bottle costs more to make than the water inside it. So really, you're not paying for water. You're paying for a piece of plastic, some marketing, and the convenience of not carrying your own bottle. The water is just what happens to be inside. That if water is nearly free and the bottle costs real money, where's the profit? It comes from three things: the brand, the amount sold, and how well it gets delivered to stores. Let's start with the brand. A plain, no-name bottle of water might sell for less than $1. A well-known brand, sitting right next to it on the same shelf, made from basically the same water, can sell for 2 or 3 times more. The water isn't different. But people don't just buy water, they buy a feeling. They feel like they're buying something clean, healthy, or high quality. That feeling is where a lot of the real profit hides. Next is volume. One single bottle might only earn the company a few cents. That sounds like nothing. But when a company sells hundreds of millions of bottles every single week, all over the world, those few cents add up into a massive business. This isn't a business that makes money from one big sale. It makes money by doing the same tiny sale an enormous number of times. And finally, there's delivery, or what people in business call distribution. This is the boring part that nobody thinks about, but it might be the most important part of the whole business. Getting bottles into stores, gas stations, and vending machines all across a country takes trucks, warehouses, and strong relationships with retailers. A company with a great brand, but no way to get their product on its shelves will struggle. But a company with an average brand and a strong delivery system can quietly dominate for years. Now here's where the dream of, "I'll just start my own water brand," usually breaks down. First, there's the problem of getting the water itself. In many places, a company needs government permission just to pump water out of the ground in large amounts. Local communities sometimes push back hard against this, especially if the company is taking water from the same source people in the area drink from. This kind of pushback has stopped more than one water company before it even started. Second, plastic prices go up and down because plastic is made from oil and oil prices change all the time. When plastic gets more expensive, a company's costs go up fast, even though their profit on each bottle is already small. Third, there's the cost of shelf space. Big stores don't give away the best spots on their shelves for free. Brands often have to pay just to get placed somewhere customers will actually notice them. For a small or new company, this cost alone can be enough to end the business before it even gets a real chance. Fourth, there's the growing problem of plastic waste. People care more than ever about the environment, and plastic bottles have become a big target for criticism. Because of this, companies now spend real money trying to look more environmentally friendly, using recycled materials or new packaging. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but because ignoring it could seriously hurt their brand. Here's the tricky part about this business. It looks really easy to start, and that's exactly the trap. Because it doesn't take much to slap a label on a bottle of water, the market gets crowded fast. New brands show up all the time. Small startups, brands backed by celebrities, local companies. Most of them disappear within a few years. Not because the water was bad, but because they underestimated how much this business depends on getting into stores and building a strong brand, not just having a good product. The companies that actually succeed usually do one of two things really well. Either they build a brand that people genuinely want to be seen holding, or they become the cheapest, most available option almost everywhere. Companies that try to sit in the middle without a strong brand and without low prices usually struggle the most. And here's something interesting. Many of the biggest water brands aren't run by small, independent founders anymore. A lot of them are owned by huge beverage companies, the same ones that also make soda and sports drinks. For these giant companies, water isn't a separate business. It's just one more product they can push through trucks, warehouses, and store relationships they already have. That gives them a massive advantage that's almost impossible for a small new brand to compete with. After all this, is owning a bottled water company actually worth it? Honestly, it depends on which part of the business you're in. If you're a small company trying to build a brand from scratch, this is a tough, competitive business with thin profits, and the odds are stacked against you. Many well-designed water brands have failed simply because they couldn't figure out how to get their product into enough stores. But if you already have a strong brand and a solid delivery system, this becomes one of the most reliable businesses out there. People don't buy water once, they buy it again and again, without even thinking about it. That kind of steady, repeat demand is exactly why big companies love this business, even with such small profit on every single bottle. Basically, nobody gets rich just from the water itself. People get rich from building the brand, the trucks, and the shelf space around it. So next time you grab a bottle of water without thinking, take a second look at it. That bottle isn't really selling you water. It's selling you a story, wrapped around something that was basically free to begin with. If you like this one, check out our other videos where we take businesses that look simple on the outside and show you what's actually going on underneath. Let me know in the comments, what business should we look at next? See you in the next video.